Is your normal really normal, or is it a lie you have been told? What is the ideal way of creating wealth? At the end of this video, you might just find out that all you have been told about making money and creating wealth is a lie. Yes, today we are going to explore part 3 of the book The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, smash the like button, and let's get straight into it. The first tip I want us to discuss is the lie you have been sold, and that is the slow lane path to becoming wealthy. The motto of the slow lane is a sacrifice today in the hopes for a brighter and freer tomorrow. As a slow lane traveler, you are usually being told that discipline is a key here. Get a job, spend 5 days at the office. Always make sure you cook food to the office because buying is expensive. Stop buying coffee, send your own coffee from home because that's $10 is also expensive. Work diligently, stop dreaming about the sports car, stop dreaming about the mansion you want to live in because you cannot afford it. Instead, delay gratification. Put the money you have into the stock market and let compounding do the work for you. In 50 years time, you would have made up to $5 million and you can retire being rich. The problem here is that the global recession has exposed the slow lane method, because when there's a recession, most companies lay off workers. That means when you lose your job, the plan has failed. Where are you going to get money to be saving every month? When the global recession happens and 50% of your money is gone, inflation happens and the stock market crashes, the plan has failed because all the money you have been saving is gone down. What happens when there's a housing crisis and you invested in real estate? That means all the money has gone away. And this plan will always be a failure because it's usually based on time and factors you can't control. You can't control what will happen in the stock market in the next 10 or 20 years. But most of us, this is what we have been told. This is the normal we have been told. This is the normal we grew up seeing. Get a job, save money, put it in the stock market, invest it, and you will make money in 10 or 20 or 30 years time. And so people who are in the slow lane also have different kinds of mindset when it comes to debt, education. For them, debt is evil because you have to attack it. Make sure that even if you have to work extra hours, just work extra hours and never get into debt. For people who are in this, they think that education is good, and so the more degrees I get, the bigger salary I will get. For people who are in this category, money is a scarce resource, and so every dime must be accounted for. You have to account for every $10. You have to account for every 10 CDs. For every 1 CD must be accounted for because money is a scarce resource. Also, people who are here, it's that their job is their sole source of income. Without the job, there's no other income. People who are in this lane do not explore other means of getting income. And also for them, compound interest is the best thing. If I put 10 CDs in an investment firm, in 50 years time I would have made 10 million. This is the perception and the mindset of people who are slow laners. And so how do you know you are a slow laner? I have been preaching this since the start of this book. Slow laners are people who are always being advised that go to school, make good grades, get a good job, get a good salary, pay yourself first, invest your salary. Hold on to your dreams now, save more. Don't buy things unnecessarily, delayed gratification. And in 30 years, 40 years, 50 years time, when you retire, you can now enjoy your money. So if you have this kind of mindset, then you are a slow laner. The next point we are going to talk about is your job a bad trade-off? He says that society has taught us that trading time for money is a great job. Here you're supposed to exchange your time for money, in that your money is supposed to buy you freedom. So your time is a freedom you have, and you're supposed to sell your freedom to buy freedom. And he's saying that most people are usually even miserable at their jobs. And the problem with jobs is that when you are not working, you don't get paid. And you will see people who are usually very excited on the weekends. Friday evenings, hooray, let's go home. We now have 2 days of freedom for the weekend. And we are going back to the shackles of Monday to Friday with traffic and misery and all those things. Another thing is that sometimes we are being told that we will get experiences at our jobs, but most specialized jobs with specialized skills don't necessarily give you the skills you actually need in life. Because if you are trained as a cashier, the possibility that you'll be doing the same job over and over again for the next 10 years is a thing, so you might not necessarily learn the skills you want to learn it. Another problem too here is that you don't have control. I mean, we are usually being preached that pay yourself first. When you read The Richest Man in Babylon, it preaches on pay yourself first. When you receive your salary, make sure you are the first person, put 10% aside for yourself. But he's saying that if you work at a job or if you work for someone, it's impossible to pay yourself first, because if your salary drops into your account, the government has already taken their taxes. Sometimes bills and other things have already been subtracted before you even get an opportunity. So in reality, you are actually being paid last. And so is your job a bad trade-off? Let's move on to the next point. And the third point is why you are not rich. And this still boils down to the fact that you are in the slow lane. To be able to get rich in the slow lane, you have to use time as a leverage. But here the author says that time has no leverage. We are usually told that compound interest will do the magic for you. But what we are usually not also told is that compound interest cannot really do the magic for you, because you do not have control over time. And so the slow lane gurus will tell you that if you have $10,000 and you put it in an investment firm with a 15% interest every year, in 40 years you would have $2.5 million and you can retire and be rich. But what you are not being told is that it's difficult to get a legitimate investment firm that will give you 15% annual returns, and so you're likely to put your money in a Ponzi scheme. Another problem is that in 40 years time, what happens if you are, you might be dead or even close to dying, right? Another problem here too is that in 40 years time, the $2.5 million you would have made can be equivalent to around $250,000 today. Why? Because if you are buying a tin of milk for 2 cedis today, probably a tin of milk in 40 years time will be 12 cedis, right? So even with your 2.5 million you are making out of the compounding, it will still, because of inflation and other things, it will still not be as worth as you think it would have been. And that is why you cannot be rich, or you would not be able to be rich in the fast lane. It is based on factors that are outside of your control. The next point we are going to discuss is education, and Albert Einstein says that the only thing that stands in the way with my learning is education. Here the author is saying that the problem with formal education is that it's very expensive. It's very expensive to be able to get a degree, and it's very time consuming. You have to spend about 4 years of your life in a college to be able to get a college degree. And so to get rich, you need a college degree, right? This is what the slow laners preach, but a college degree is expensive. So you see someone going to take a loan in order to go to school to get a degree to come and get a job. But now when you get the job, you already have a lot of loans. You don't have the things you have yet, so you are working all your life to pay back these loans, and at the end of the day you might not have been able to even save the money to become rich as you projected and predicted that education or going to school would have been the way out for you to make money. It doesn't mean going to school is bad. It doesn't mean getting yourself educated is bad. It just means that sometimes a trade-off. If you have the money to be able to go to school without loans and all those things, is good. But if you have to take loans upon loans upon loans, and even now that jobs are a problem, you take a loan, you come out and you can't even get a job. You are in debt, you don't have a job, you cannot pay, and you are miserable. This is what the slow lane preaches. The next point here is that the slow lane victory is a gamble of hope. The hope that you would live a long life, the hope that you will live a healthy life, the hope that you would even have a job throughout your life. But life is filled with dips and downs, valleys and mountains, and so many unpredictable things you would not be able to see. The slow lane leaves you with a kind of hope that in the future you'll be okay, but so for now just stop dreaming. Stop thinking about wanting to travel the world. Stop thinking about wanting to buy that car. Stop thinking about wanting to live in a mansion. Just keep saving, just keep reducing your lifestyle, and with the hope that you will be better someday in the future. But this gamble of hope is not always constant. Anything can happen. And so for the past 3 weeks, we have discussed so many things from this book, The Millionaire, Fastlane, from the side worker, the slow laner, and why getting rich slow is getting rich old. In the next episode, I'm now coming to tell you what the author preaches as the millionaire fast lane, the lane in which if you follow it through, you will become a millionaire within your young age, and you'll be able to live a life of freedom and fun. You'll be able to travel the world while you are still young, and you can retire 4 decades early. So please, you want to subscribe to the channel, put on your notification bell so that you do not miss this. I will see you in the next one. Stay safe and bye.